The events that we will be discussing today are globalization, terrorism, the unipolar world, and the digital era. We will be defining them and talking about how they help shape the world as we know it.
Globalization. Globalization can be defined as the exchange or trade of technologies, products, services, and even cultural behaviors. Its main focus is to share the progress made in one country with the rest of the world, helping poorer countries develop faster and making the world a more uniform place, where everyone moves at a similar pace. However, from a different point of view, this can leave smaller businesses and cultural aspects proper from a country at a disadvantage, risking their eventual loss.
Terrorism. Terrorism can be considered the act of being violent against a big group of people, sometimes entire countries. These are usually attacks with the objective of scaring the people who reside there and seize control of the area for political, religious, or economic reasons. The aggressions are directed to non-combatants, which means that people affected cannot defend themselves.
Unipolar world. When a country has clearly more power than others, it is said that the world is unipolar, since there is one main world power, uni, and that the power comes from one place or pole, polar. As of today, the world can be considered multipolar, having a sort of balance in the influence of the bigger countries. However, many argue that the United States could have more influence than the rest, turning the world into a unipolar place. Digital era. The digital era is the one in which we are currently living, characterized by the interest and rapid advance of technology. This all started with the invention of communication devices like phones, televisions, and computers, eventually leading to the creation of the Internet. Thanks to all of these and their constant updates and actualizations to make them better, globalization has had a considerable growth.
As previously mentioned, the attacks are usually meant to terrorize an area into submissiveness, to either have more political control, to have economic benefit, or to forcefully spread religion or other ideologies. In short, power and control are the usual objectives to reach through terrorism.
Why did the globalization emerge? As mentioned before, globalization is a way in which countries can help each other, sharing their goods and boosting their economy and life quality. It is difficult to answer the question of why and when it emerged, but since countries started exchanging products like gold, slaves, food, and whatnot many years ago, the process began. Modern globalization, which refers to the one happening since the 20th century, is recognized due to the technological progress which made the commerce of goods and information easier. How does the end of the Cold War relate to the unipolar world? Once the Soviet Union was defeated, the United States of America had no other rival to compete against to be a strong country at that time, economically, militarily, and educationally speaking, so the world became unipolar. How does the digital era influence today's society? The digital era has a lot of influence nowadays, since technological advancements are constantly being made in many different fields. Medicine, education, and communication benefit from new technologies, and so do the people who live in the more developed countries, as well as the ones who don't, since globalization is also boosted with technology.